The plague Kewar is one of 2 infested Za strikes with innate viral damage. Its blueprint is available for purchase for a few more days from Nakak on Cetus, as one of Plague Star rewards. Since it won't be coming back for Knights of Nabaruz this year, it's your last chance to get it until the next time it comes back. Compared to other Za strikes, the Plague Kewar has a 2% higher status chance than the Sephon strike, and 4% higher than other Za strikes. Depending on which grip you choose, you can build either a scythe or a staff. The scythes have higher base damage, but very short range of 1.7 meter. The staves have lower base damage, but a 3 meter range. The scythes have 2 stances, and the polarity will match Stalking Fan. The other stance, Reaping Spiral, is actually the better one, since it deals more damage per second and has forced /procs. If you make a staff, the polarity will match Clashing Forest, which deals more damage on stationary combos. The other stance, Flailing Branch, deals more damage while moving. I'd say that you can use whichever feels better to you. I personally prefer Flailing Branch. The grip will also determine the weapon's base speed. Usually, speed is considered more important than damage, but there can be too much speed. If you're using abilities or arcanes that boost attack speed, you can build for lower speed. A base speed around 1 is best in my opinion, since you don't have to worry about being too fast or too slow. If your base speed is higher than 1.1, you can forego using speed mods. The Za links determine critical and status chance, and speed and damage. If you're making a critical Za, Vargeet 2J is the better option, since it increases speed at the cost of damage, and you will end up with 32% critical chance and 14% status chance. If you're making a status Za, Equana 2J is better since it increases speed, and your Za will have 36% status chance and 10% critical chance. If you're going for a mixed build, choose either Vargeet J2, which will give you 25% critical chance and 18% status chance, or Equana J2, which will grant your Za 29% status chance and 14% critical chance. In general, I'd recommend the Vargeet J2 or Vargeet 2J since they have more critical chance. As always, I have a couple of different builds to demonstrate, with different Za configurations. First, my only Scythe Za. This is just the standard combo build with viral damage that works on most weapons. I can fit in Reaping Spiral with my 2 formas, even though the polarity doesn't match. You could also use a build with corrosive and heat damage, which means there are 6 different status types for condition overload. Personally, I dislike scythes in Warframe. I find their stances really awkward to use, even though Reaping Spiral has forced /procs and the lifted effect also counts for condition overload. Especially Za strikes can be awkward to use because of their short range. Mostly though, I dislike them because they are not real scythes, they are oversized sickles. Since I prefer staves, I have 3 different configurations to show you. First, I have a similar combo build on a staff Za, with primed Fever Strike instead of Virulent Scourge. I don't have Berserker on this Za because the speed is high enough. And you can also use just viral damage with more critical damage. I find that corrosive and heat works better for me, but if you have a way of stripping armor, just viral is better. If you're facing high-level Corpus, just toxin damage with decent status chance will work better than viral and slash, since toxin damage bypasses shields. Next, I have a status staff. I find that this one works best with corrosive and heat damage. With 360/60 mods, the base status chance is over 100%. If you're interested in using primed smite mods, you can replace Blood Rush and rely on Arcane Avenger, which grants 45% more critical chance, and the buff from Adarza Cavit, which grants 60% more critical chance. And you can use a similar build if you're facing Corpus, but with only toxin damage. I still have Arcane Avenger and my Adarza equipped. And lastly, I have a critical staff. I've used Vargeet to Ruang, but I'd recommend J instead. Since Berserker now activates on kill, this Za is a bit too slow until it gets 2 kills. So I'm using Primed Fury instead of Berserker, but a higher base speed will still be better. You can just use a standard build with viral damage, and I have Sacrificial Steel here for more critical chance. Because of its lower status chance, this Za works better with a primer. And if you're using a primer, you can just build for more critical damage. Since the Za has innate viral damage, you can build your primer for corrosive and heat. Since the nerf to Condition Overload and Blood Rush, I've had to be more careful when building melee weapons, and I feel that these changes affected status weapons more than crit weapons. The Plague Kewar is still one of the best Zas, and Zas are still one of the better melee weapons. I've shown several different builds, and you can choose whichever one works best for you. But the standard combo build, on either the Scythe or the Staff, works for most purposes.